Welcome to Who You Were with Patrick Noth and Sebastian Canelli. In each episode, we ask our guests to talk about a time in their life when they were significantly different. Episode 6, Jerah Milligan.
And it's like, oh man, I can't be mean to Sebastian because Sebastian may be, you know what I'm saying, next coming of like Bill Murray. So I got like
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray is my all-time favorite comedian. So I would die to meet Bill Murray.
See, I don't like him.
Really?
I don't think he's likable, and for me, it's all about if you're. I don't not like him. I think there's a lot of hype around him, and in my book, it's like for comedians, I want to like the person.
No, I don't
like Bill Murray.
Like personally, on a personal level.
Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah, even his acting. Usually, it's like he's a dick.
Yes, very true.
Yeah,
I think he's a kinder. Well, actually, technically, in his personal life, I heard crazy things.
Yeah, he's like a bad dude in his personal life, but I think he's likable.
But he's
camera.
a defender of. It's tricky because he's apparently has done very aggressive things towards women, but apparently he also is a very big defender of what. Like if you read the Live from New York book, you hear about like Chevy Chase and some of the crazy things Chevy Chase did, and then why Bill Murray hated Chevy Chase.
Yeah,
and so they kept saying like Bill Murray was the protector of everybody. Sure. But I do get that because sometimes he just seems like. I've heard stories about him on, what was it, Charlie's Angels, and was yelling at Lucy Liu or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how old the dude is, but he does go to like parties in Williamsburg and shit.
I've heard that.
He shows up.
Like he tells you the thing is, no one will ever believe you. I heard there's so many crazy stories of him just appearing places.
I heard one pretty cool Bill Murray story. It was that there was a New York Times, when the Groundhog's Day, the play came out.
Oh, yeah.
The New York Times, a guy wrote an article about the play, and he got to go see the play with Bill Murray. And Bill Murray was there, and he stood up and waved. Everyone was like, yeah, Bill Murray! And so he's watching the play, and the guy looks at Bill Murray halfway through, and he sees Bill Murray's like crying, sobbing in the middle of the play.
What?
And then afterwards, he asks Bill Murray, he's like, so I saw you were crying. What was it that made you cry? And he goes, just the idea to try and try again.
Oh, wow. That is honestly, wow, that's very beautiful to think about the Groundhog Day play on Broadway.
Now I feel bad about being like, yeah, he's a scumbag. Because it's like,
well, I was the one who was called him a scumbag, and I knew that beautiful shit about him.
Oh my God.
Well, it's like everybody's fucking,
everybody's got a thing.
Everybody's got some shit, but everybody's also got some good shit. It's like hard, it's so hard to like.
Yeah, like everybody's got a thing. Like that's one of the things I've been fascinated with nowadays. Because of the Me Too movement and like just as a dude, like I grew up in I guess like you call it hood or whatever, and
where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Southeast DC.
You know what? Before we get into it, let me do the
please.
The business.
Oh yeah, he loves the fucking business.
I don't fucking like the business.
You know what? Do the business, baby.
Necessary.
You know what?
No, but
don't drag him.
No, dude, I got it, bro.
I don't want to
Let's get the business done.
He's got the paper.
I don't want to get too deep before we intro the show.
First off, does everyone know that you guys?
People don't even know who he is yet.
But I want people to know that you guys have. So listeners at home, they have 2 laminated pieces of paper.
That's me.
Let's be honest.
Laminated.
We have 2, but he has both.
Pat, no, it's great. It's great. It's never going to get stained. You never got to do another copy.
You never got to do it again.
You never have another copy. I get it. Sebastian's just like,
mine's upside down. You want to know something? He sent you that. So he's just sent you that email, Pat, before he came here. And at the bottom, I guess I never even fully read it. Because at the bottom, I saw the kissing question about me. If you want to get kissed by Sebastian.
Oh, you never read that.
I guess I missed that part.
Yo, did you? So how long have you guys been sending that around that you never noticed it until today?
But what, like a couple weeks, 3 weeks, 4
3
weeks,
weeks,
a month?
4 weeks.
He was like approved. I agree.
Yeah, I approved instantly. My reading comprehension is horrible.
You read the first time. This makes sense. Who are you? That's the start.
You know what? You're making it like literally impossible to intro the show without you I'm like
dragging it.
How do I do this? Like I'm like trying to segue, and I'm like, no, like this isn't the time. I'm gonna get shit on.
Like, all right, so welcome, Liz. What are you doing? Don't worry, Pat. Nope, we're ready. Pat,
all right, cool. Welcome to Who You Were. This is a podcast where we bring on comedians and we ask them about a time in their life where they were significantly different. My name is Patrick Noth.
I'm Sebastian Canelli.
And we want to know like who you were in the sense that we have this Instagram at Who You Were podcast where we ask our guests to give us a picture of before and after from the time that they are talking about and the present day. And we're going to post your pictures on our Instagram if you email us at whoyouwerepodcast@gmail.com.
Yes, and that's everyone. Everyone who sends them, we post.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I mean, I'm trying to think of photos I was sending you guys now. I am so terrified of like a photo of myself. Like if you look at my Instagram, it's usually me and you guys. It'd be me and you guys. Or if I'm doing a story, it's just of you. Like I'm never in it unless I'm drunk and I'm like, hey.
Really?
I just like I'm not. We'll talk about. I'm not good. I'm not good at that stuff because I think people assume certain things. I'm not comfortable with looks
because you're hunky.
See, and that's people say that, and I just don't.
He's very hunky.
I don't like. I'm like, I have friends who are models, and I'm like, those dudes, women love.
You can be a model.
Man,
dude,
honestly,
I think so too.
Can I tell you what? We were talking before, and your eyes struck me in the light. Dude, your eyes,
that's the kindest thing you've ever said to me.
The light struck your eyes. I went, fuck, I better be funny.
Yo, that is too much. That stuff is hard, man. Like especially in the comedy world, because I feel like in the comedy world, people assume so many things. Like look wise, they expect. Oh, if you're a comedian who maybe isn't in shape, like if you're in shape, I talk to Mike Kelton about this sometimes. Whereas, like, I feel like if you're in shape, people don't want you to be funny. It's like, why are you here?
Right?
It's like, why are you telling me this joke? You don't need to be here. And I'm like, no. When I was growing up, at no point was I in shape. At no point was I cool.
Yeah.
At no point was it like I was the person who was like, why is that guy here in comedy?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean. Dude, sometimes I feel that because I'm like, this is my game.
Yes,
this is a fat white man's game from day one, bro.
Why are you doing this? I think about it all the time. It's like, why are you doing this?
Yeah,
I've seen, I've been up to UCB recently, and I've seen legit models walking through the hallways, and I'm like, what are you doing here? Yeah. You don't need this. I was short and like not tough. I had to tell these jokes. I was like, you don't need this. I saw a 101 show, and the scene was
you saw a 101 show.
I happened to be at the theater. I was like in town.
Defend yourself on that shit.
I had to be there, and I was like, oh, and I think I knew the teacher, and it was like this beautiful woman was on stage, and the unusual thing was that she didn't have enough money to like buy fat. It was like the scene was at McDonald's, and they weren't going to give her the burger for free, but like the unusual thing is that no one was giving her money to get it, and I was like, in your world. You're so used to getting whatever you need that is unusual for you just to be like everybody else.
Yes.
Like, it was fascinating.
She was reacting to that as if it was weird when, like, for any normal person.
It's just, that's how we,
It'd be like, that sucks.
Yeah, that sucks. I'm not giving you this 25 cents. I want extra sauce. It's like, that's what life is like.
All right, we should intro.
Sorry, we're still in the intro.
Intro. We got to intro the guest.
Yeah. Okay.
I just started talking.
If Sebastian had looked at my beautiful laminated sheet, he would know.
Oh, it says Sebastian. Intro the guest.
Sebastian!
Oh my god!
I truly didn't even know that, but I just wanted to like fuck with you.
It's on the paper.
All right, we got Jerah here today. Jerah Milligan, give your hands up, clap your hands for him. Bad boy over here.
We just started, and I was already talking for like 20 minutes.
You know him. He's got one of the best podcasts out there. Black Man Can't Jump in Hollywood.
Thank you.
I love the pod. I'm a true fan.
I think
I've told you that.
You are. You do. You mention things about the podcast, and I know you actually listen.
Yes, I subscribe. You can check my.
I know you do.
Yeah,
because you talk to me about it, which I'm like, that's how I know you listen.
Of course,
like, random things.
I'll tell you what I love so much about your podcast. I mean, you know him from so many other places. You could check his. You did a series for Seriously TV, projecting, right?
Projecting. We got projecting. Astronomy Club. They're
a dynamite, a powerhouse improv and sketch team. They got some Comedy Central shit. You gotta check that out. But what I love about your podcast so much is not only do you talk about issues, you talk about the movies and what's wrong with them, but you celebrate stuff when it's good. Too often people are just shitting on stuff.
Dude, I agree. And I was talking to somebody about it today, is that we live in a world where we're in the entertainment business, right? And the entertainment business is very stressful. Like, you're always putting yourself out there. You think you're about to get this big movie that could change everything. Yeah. You may not. Someone else may get it. And a lot of times I feel like we aren't allowed to feel that emotion. Like, it's instantly, man, whatever, the next one to come. Like, which is true. But I do think if you're mad, you should just, okay, I'm mad about this. Feel what that feels like, and then process it and move on. Like, we're so quick to just shun this because we're not allowed to be sad. We're not allowed to do this thing, and like that just causes more problems.
And you're not allowed to be happy.
No,
because
you're
there
not allowed
is
to be
this
happy.
fucked up thing where like if something good happens to you, I get like only a couple of good things ever happened to me in this business. But like if something good happened to me, I'll be scared to share it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I don't want people to be judging me or being
Yes.
like he's bragging or some shit like
Yes.
that.
You know,
right?
it's
Fucked up.
It's like, it's no way to do it.
You can only be cynical. You know what? Another thing that I notice is when there's a famous comedian around, I will treat them like shittier than I would like a normal person, just to be like I
don't care.
like I'm posturing basically. I just treat them like a normal person, and like that's like a normal thing to do. But I will like be like, I so much don't want you to think that I'm trying to like rub elbows with you that I'm gonna like just be standoffish.
You want to be like, I don't care who you are. I know who you are, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm not like mean. I'm just standoffish.
Yeah, it's like, all right, it's cool. You're here.
Sure.
And at UCB, like so many people come in the building. It's just weird because in the last year alone, I've seen so many friends. I've seen their life change in a night.
Yeah.
Just in a night. One of our friends, I wasn't in the room, but Rami Youssef has a show coming out on Hulu. And we happened to be in LA, and Jonathan Braylock was with him, and he got the phone call that the series got picked up, full series order.
Amazing.
Right? Full series order. And it's like, wow, like you're excited, but you're also like, damn, I want that too. Like, I need that. You need that validation. Like, I feel like every time we do something, you want the deadline article to prove that you are doing something.
Your value.
Yes, like your value means something.
And that game is that
you never win.
You never win, and it's never ending. It's never enough. I mean, if you're not in the moment, just enjoying the process of it and the journey of it, like it's never enough. It's never going to be enough.
Because once you get a TV show, all right, I need a movie. Once you get a movie, I got to get an Oscar. I got to keep.
I know.
I booked a voiceover one time. Brag.
Wow.
No, it was like
awesome. Non-union. He loved it. They gave him half crafties.
Take all the food snacks you want.
It was an animated character, but I got the email and it had all the information in it, and for some reason it had like the entire amount of episodes there were in the season. So when I first read the email, I was like, oh shit, I'm on 32 episodes of this show, you know?
Oh my God.
And then I checked and read it again, and I was like, oh no, it's just like I'm a guest star. But then I was immediately disappointed by the fact that I was a guest star.
Which is huge.
It's fucking great.
Which is huge.
Yeah.
Sure.
But it's just like, it's never going to be enough. Like if that's the thing.
But also it's the thing where I feel like I think we're getting better at it. But I think as performers, I feel like we're not allowed to feel anything outside of the emotions of a character we're playing. Like if you had an audition and you felt bummed about it and you were talking to us, or if you were talking to like your agent or something, it could come off as complaining, where it's like, no, I had this thing I was excited about and I feel sad that I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like you're not allowed to do it.
Has someone ever told you they go, well, you should just be happy you're there?
Yes.
And I want to
Yes.
go, shove it up your fucking ass
Yes.
because I need to, this is my life. It's that stupid thing like when you get a little money, that's your new norm.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, everything's just your new norm.
Yeah.
And
You
so-
level up.
Yeah.
Yep.
But there are people, you find your tribe or people that you could talk to. And I always say it to people I go, I love this because I could feel like you could tell me whatever and I'm going to be happy and I'm going to let you feel sad. And I get that. And I could tell you whatever right now. You're at the same level with a bunch of people and you could talk about it openly and honestly.
And you can feel it out too when it's the person that you can do it with, like.
And it sucks because sometimes it's one of those things is to find that person.
Sure.
You probably went through 3 people who you realize, I can't.
Oh shit,
do
I
this.
can't trust that person. Yeah.
You can't, because I hate that conversation of who has it worse. Like, oh man, I'm bummed I didn't get this. Well, at least you had auditions. And I'm like, well, like I didn't get them before. It was hard. It was hard to get. Like, it wasn't like you just got auditions in one day. It's like, no, it took a long time.
Yeah,
Sure. It wasn't easy. Like, well, at least you were doing this. I'm like, yeah, but.
Yeah.
I know.
Like,
especially something that you'd be good for. You kill, and you're just like, it's okay to be disappointed about this thing that I'm like, I would have killed this thing.
And you're looking at, and that's the thing is the thing of like, you don't want to, and then when people question you, it almost feels like, wait, am I being ungrateful?
No.
And it's like, now you're just, it's like, why are we even doing this?
No, because I talked to my therapist about this shit, and she's so good with this. She tells me in the small successes, don't like talk to my friends and like, but I should treat myself to something.
Yes, I agree with that.
Like she goes, go get yourself a video game. Go buy yourself a pair of sneakers if you like book something.
Yeah,
she goes, you got to enjoy that money.
Yeah,
or you got to enjoy that success. I mean,
and the feeling to me is like you got to enjoy that feeling. Like I'm happy as a therapist. I just started going to one because
it's hard.
Yeah, and to me it's like last year probably was the year that I've auditioned the most in my life, which I was excited. But then, like I'm talking about, like there were certain points. There wasn't a week where I didn't have some audition, which was great.
Yeah,
but then after a while, you're like, okay, I'm going into the same
so
shows,
hard. Yeah,
and it's like you're giving up. You know, like
so
you're
much
giving
time.
up so much. Like, you know, say you have your girlfriend's birthday and it's like the birthday's planned.
Yeah.
But you got 14 pages to memorize the next day. So now you're cutting that birthday short.
Sure.
And you're now just like, these life events are now kind of morphing around these auditions. And if you don't get it, it's like, damn it, I can't get back the time for that wedding. And then
I know
the auditions, if you're not getting them, that starts, at least for me, it started messing with my head. It was like, what's happening? Like, what am I, is something going on in the room? So much that it's made me question things. And it was just, even in comedy, there was a point where I loved UCB so much. But then I was questioning what kind of comedy I was doing.
Sure, we interned together.
Yeah, yes, we literally interned.
You guys did. Wow, so you interned, I remember when you were an intern.
I forgot till the light caught your eyes.
You were the, shut up. I will say this, and I do mean this. You were probably the only reason I didn't quit.
Because
I had a very tough time at UCB because like right now we have that diversity boom or whatever. I remember working the door at UCB and seeing performers who I'm friends with now not say hi to me.
Yeah,
I remember working at that door, and I remember only taking an internship because I couldn't afford the classes so I would have 2 or 3 month gaps in classes.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't. Like, I would be in 301, and I would have to take 2 months off or something.
Yeah.
People in my 301 are now in advanced study because they just, like, kept going. And I remember literally working those doors, and I'm talking about, like, performers would not say hi. And I would be, like, and you were interns, I would overly be, and I was always at the door.
Yeah.
I remember the person who, no matter what, said hi and always would, like, ask how I was doing, and I know he didn't know me yet, was Anthony Atamanik. I would never forget it.
Anthony
would be like,
loves the interns.
Like, he was so nice. He'd be like, you on the team yet? I was like, no, I'm not even there yet. I'm just trying to get classes. Like, he was so genuinely nice.
You know what I like about Anthony? Mm-hmm. You see him and he gets off the stage and he'll hang out after his shows. Back when we were interning, and he would hang out just to make the interns laugh more because all he cared about was like making people love him and like sharing joy.
And I've been very conscious of that now. Like being a performer places of just saying hi.
Sure.
The only thing now I get very worried about, have I introduced myself to them and just I can't remember.
Yeah.
That's my fear.
Yeah.
But I do remember like, because Sebastian at that time, I think especially towards the end of our internship, you had got on Lloyd night.
Yeah, I was on Lloyd and I was interning.
Yes, I remember that. And I remember when you got it. But I remember like Sebastian was still there helping lift the because you always help lift the cages where you didn't have to.
Oh yeah,
the bike rack you didn't have to.
I fucking hated that.
Yeah, we always had it. Like, you ready to do it? But that joy was one reason I didn't quit because I wanted to quit very early on.
Oh sure.
It was like I remember one night somebody threw up and I was like, bro, you gonna throw up at the midnight show? Like everything else is clean.
You wanna know something fucked up? So I got on Lloyd when I was interning, and I had the same thing. People wouldn't say hi to me. Then the shift I got on Lloyd, I think I worked that night, and everyone said hi to me. Doesn't that? And you know, the whole
crazy.
time I couldn't swallow the highs.
Yeah,
I because I knew.
Yeah,
I knew. And it's weird because I know for me when Astronomy Club did it, we rehearsed purposely from like October, November, the year prior to auditions, and then because of those rehearsals, we forced ourselves to like hang out because a lot of us didn't know each other. So it was like we had dinners. We had this. I remember being at the training center the day after it was announced we were a team. And I remember walking around and hearing, man, I heard there's a black team. It's going to be like Detroit, the all-women team. Yeah. I was like, oh, it's going to be like another Detroit. I remember. And I remember some of my friends at UCB being like, oh, man, I heard you got put on the team. Is it the black team? And I'm like, yeah, man. Like,
so you felt like you couldn't even have it.
Because you couldn't enjoy it because it's like, because I remember our very first show, it was a thing of, our mindset always was, we have to now prove that we deserve to be on this stage.
Right.
Because we will be like Detroit was
there was the
women's
asterisk
team.
next to your name.
We were the black team.
Oh, that
like, we were the black team.
I remember your first show. Ray was at a funeral or some
it was
shit.
Like, I remember like people went boss. It was like, fuck it. I remember it was like, because at that point, I think some of our other teammates heard kind of the same thing. Because a lot of them weren't known. Like, no one knew who Caroline was yet. Because Caroline was like Caroline was pretty fresh. Like, Braylock left UCB, came back.
Yeah.
So I think people had a lot of things to prove that night.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's weird, dude. It's like that weird trying to find your identity. Like, I know, not trying to skip ahead, but I know for me, I've been trying to deal with just what it means to be a man, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So I feel like, I was brought up like, you got to be tough. Like, if you fall, walk that off. You know?
Yeah.
I remember like the sex talk wasn't with like my mom. It was with like the older guys who were basically high schoolers. And like, you got to fuck a lot of women, man.
Yep.
You got to do this. You got to do that. So to me, I was terrified of sex, bro. Like, I was terrified of sex until maybe senior year of high school. And it wasn't even me who initiated that.
And then what happened? You had some?
I mean, then I did. I was like, oh, this shit is crazy. like, this is a crazy.
You caught some and then you said, oh, fuck.
It was like crazy. But that shit, but if you think about it, you're doing it in a situation where, like, even now as a guy, I feel like I've been put in situations where women, because they assume a certain kind of, like, oh, you look a certain kind of way, I'm assuming you're going to be the aggressive, like, sexual dude. And I'm like, nah, man, like, if we don't have sex, I will go to sleep. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm like,
yeah,
I can go to sleep. Like, this is fine.
Right.
And then I think of like, oh, now I have a lot of people who think I'm gay, which doesn't bother me either. But it's just like, because they don't see me with a bunch of women. And I'm like, well, is that what defines me being?
I know.
Wait, you saying? Yeah, sorry.
So no. I just want to get some context. So you're going to talk. This is what you're going to talk about, and I just kind of want to know a few details before we jump in. So where did you live at the time? Is that where you're from? I'm trying to think when I had to.
I think I was in New York when I started questioning things. I was in New York. It probably was like 2000. It probably was like when I first got on the team, maybe like 2013.
Okay.
So how old are you then?
I was 26, 27.
Yeah.
And when I started questioning what it meant to like be a black dude, and also what it meant to be a guy. Because I started feeling very weird about how I presented myself to people, but then also what I was generally just comfortable with. Like my roommate's gay. We've been roommates for almost 7 years now. And coming from DC, I had never met a black gay man in my life.
Yeah.
Because there were rumors in DC. Like they called him down low. Like you didn't know what was what. And my roommate, I remember seeing him, and I won't say his name, but I remember when I first met him, like I always knew he was gay, but he wasn't out. He may have just started being comfortable 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know why. And now I know because I remember walking out with him. I've heard people say the F word. I totally get that. That's a whole thing. And even in the black community, we don't talk about it. Like we don't talk about mental. Like as a black man, you don't talk about mental health. You don't talk about homosexuality. It's just what you don't do. You don't talk about things that aren't hyper masculine.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
And we just pass that down to boys. Like we just pass that. We passed that down, which is why, like, I keep thinking about these situations where dudes are like, I didn't know I did anything wrong because they didn't know any better. Like,
they weren't
you would
taught.
think they weren't taught to think differently.
100%.
So, like, yeah.
I want to get into that, but so I kind of want to talk to you about before you started questioning these things, if that's cool.
Yeah, of course.
And then we can get into that. What kind of music were you into?
Prior, I was into like, Little John strip club music. I'm like, if you'd have told me in college, like I was pretty good in college, but once I got out of college and started to learn about making cheap clothes look well and started like some of my friends outside of comedy world are very actory. So I try to like border the line between actory world and like comedy. But the actory friends were guys who would like make sure their hair were nice, make sure like they knew how to talk to women in a way that dude, I've seen friends like meet someone at a bar, a beautiful woman that I never would think would give people time of day, and they would just leave.
Yeah. And
so when that happened, I definitely will say when I got to New York, there was definitely a period in my life, like 25, 26, 27, where it was hoeing. Like I'm talking about, like I was just, and that's how I thought it was. Like I thought, like I'm a man now. I want to enjoy my youth, and this is what it meant. It was like I need to get money or be striving to it and just have a bunch of women around.
And what would you do
Absolutely.
for fun at that time?
Dude, I would go out every day. Like
You'd
I would go out and drink.
Were you a drinker though?
Oh my God. Dude.
Really?
I was like, and the thing is, like, I was never the guy who would be like, oh, I have to drink. But if I started to, my night, like, I was one of those guys who were like, you know, I'm never going to just drink casually at the house.
Sure.
But if, like, Sebastian, you're like, oh, come over, man, we might go out. If I come over and we have one shot of tequila, we're down in the bottle and we might get more.
Yeah.
Like, I was about going out. And I went out heavy.
What are we talking about? Clubs, or are we talking
Man,
about?
it didn't matter, dude.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, like, I would go to, like, especially when I first got here, I would go to LES where the NYU girls would be. I would go to, like small, it literally elevated. It would go from like the random bars that I knew I could kind of get into without dressing nice. It would go from there to LeBain, which was like a bar, but like the tourists go, so you could find like tourist women. And then once my friends who went out way more than me started infiltrating these other bars and clubs and started to know DJs, it just became...
Yeah.
I mean, dude, there's photos my friend Lily sent from years ago that I don't remember taking because I hate taking photos. And like the fact that you have that photo was crazy.
So it escalated to the point where you were like in that world.
Oh,
kinda.
I was in it.
Yeah.
I was in it. And the thing is, it became a thing of like I liked sex so much, and then I hated it. Because at that point, I was like, I don't know none of y'all. I don't know any of you guys. And also, it was like dealing with that. And to me, it was like because I was so stressed because I didn't have an agent, I was still like trying to get on a team. Sure. And when I was interning, we interned on Saturday night. So I would compensate for Saturday night by trying to go out on Thursday or Friday because I knew I didn't have Saturday.
You guys know I got fired as an intern.
What? Really?
Yeah, because I went out.
Did you? Did you?
Yeah, it was when I was still drinking and I got fucked up and I like couldn't, like I said I was going to come back. I had just gotten this new job and I was like, I'm going to come back after I get off. And everyone in the cast started like drinking and then they were going to go to a bar and I started drinking and I just never fucking came back.
Wow.
And yeah, I got fired.
Dude, I
thought my career was
over anything.
Oh my God, it didn't even matter.
I know, right? Nothing mattered. Nothing mattered. But I think about that all the time, dude. Like, we put so much pressure. Like, to me, the partying was solely because my ex at the time, who I'm very close with, I was like, you deserve somebody better. Like, you got your job. You have the job you want. And I'm like, I wasn't even an intern at that point. I was like, man, I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck to do. So I've always felt old. Like, I felt old at 24, 25.
Yeah.
Like, at 24, 25, I was thinking, damn, it ain't happening yet.
Right. Yeah. Like it was like, yeah, someone was just going to give it.
Yeah, I was like,
give it to me.
And the thing is, it's not even, it was like, what is working hard? I was like, man, I'm in class. What else I got to do?
I take class once a week for a couple hours.
Yeah, like I'm doing the thing, right? This is it. And then when I got on the team, it's like, hey, man, I'm doing rehearsals. You're doing every bit show, every show you get asked to do. Yeah. I'm like, this is it, right? No, it's not.
No.
So you said your ex. Now, do you feel like she saw that hyper-masculine side of you, or do you feel like you were able to sort of drop that when you guys were in a relationship?
I think I hit a lot.
Yeah.
I definitely hit a lot. Because I think, and I will say this, she may have been one of the most supportive people. So during the start of this point, this crazy drinking point, I was still with her. And she was more of a homebody, but she never questioned me going out. As long as I made time for her, as long as like we put weekends aside, she never questioned anything.
That's a good relationship. It was at the end of the day.
It was perfect. She was super supportive. When I was 25 or 24, I was like, I'm fucking old, man. I'm not making it. She's like, dude, you just started. Technically, just like let it. She was super supportive. So I was able to have those conversations. But when I would get like depressed or sad, I hit it like the Dickens. And she would always be like, yo, you could talk to me about anything. And I just couldn't do it. Yeah. Because as a guy, I was like, I don't want to have a conversation where I may cry in front of you.
Yeah,
like
you can't
I can't
be vulnerable.
You never cried in front of her?
Dude, I didn't cry as a man. Even as a kid until maybe 27, 28.
So this is crazy because you like this is just parallel. I just started crying again like maybe 3 months ago after a lot of work.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like now I cry out of nowhere. Like legit.
My parents would make a bet. They would say, every night before bed, Sebastian cries.
Really? Really?
Every day I cried as a kid.
Really?
And as an adult, I cry constantly.
But I have a question,
constantly. I've never stopped crying. I cry all the time.
How do you feel about it? Like, do you ever feel...
My emotions are too much.
Do you ever feel nervous about it? Like, do you?
I do. I feel like my body prevents me from doing it sometimes. Like I'll feel like I want to cry, but my body will be like, it's like a self-preservation thing. Like it's like, no, it's not fucking safe to do that. Like, you know, but Sebastian, I have a question for you. Is it easy for you to get angry?
No, I can't.
It's very hard for me to get angry.
I can't get angry. I get scared to get angry.
Yeah.
I feel like that same way.
Because I'm so big, I don't want to hurt anything by accident.
Yeah. And I'm like in a shaped black dude, so I'm very nervous about what my anger looks like.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Please.
I'm scared of mine too, because I could probably like fuck up like 8.
Fucking twizzle arms over here.
Pat's like, you don't want to know. I would fucking toss all these mics. You don't want to see it.
He'll throw his fucking green juice in your face.
And then he's like, fuck it, I wanted that juice.
No, but anger was the only emotion that I had access to for like,
really?
Talking about like hypermasculine or toxic, masculinity and all that stuff. Like I was in it.
Like I didn't cry until I had a private lesson with my teacher, Sheila Gray. You look her up if you're trying. She's very aggressive in class. I warn everybody about that. But she's
I've heard of her. She's good.
She's good, but like she's good and she's a wonderful woman outside of class. But like she will do what she needs to do in class. Like one of those classic like actor teachers you see on TV.
Yeah.
Like,
she'll bring you
down real quick. Like I remember I had a private with her and like the scene, I guess I just wasn't doing it.
Yeah.
And I will never forget it. I forgot what the scene was, but she was like, hey, I need you to just stop. And she curses all the time. She's like, I need you to get the fuck up. She's like, stand up, close your eyes, put your hand on your heart. And she knew I was close to my mom. I'm very close to my mom. She's like, imagine you're in front of your mom and she asks you, are you a failure? And it's like, bruh, I fucking died.
I can't even think about that.
Like, even right now I'm thinking about it. It's like, it's because again, it's like we always think about these things. What does success mean? Like what does it do? And like, to me, at that point, it was, yo, bro, I got to be on TV. I'm not on TV on a regular basis. I can't give them money like it. Like it
exactly.
It broke.
Well, the desire also to make it and save
everybody else.
Save everybody.
What'd you feel like after you cried for the first time after years?
Dude, I felt weak. It felt like
shame.
No, not even that. It felt like it felt like there was a release, and it felt like I didn't physically. It felt like I remember I dropped because I didn't know physically what to do with my body. It felt like something just came out, and I didn't know what to do.
Yeah,
and I remember
it's scary.
It's scary. And I'm talking about one of those ugly cries where it's like fucking snot, and like you're not
sure.
You're not
I believe
thinking
people
about it.
Cry like they laugh.
Yes, I agree too.
Yeah,
if your laugh is big, your cry is big.
So you don't want to see me cry.
Oh, you don't want to see like my shit is bad. Is it? Bruh. My shit is bad.
So and you like collapsed.
I just dropped because the thing is, you think about how much stuff you hold in that you think you're doing the right thing.
Yeah,
like you think like you said, you don't want to get mad.
No,
and I don't. But I'm like, sometimes you have to.
Absolutely,
like, you got to get it out because if you don't get it out, my biggest fear is like I don't get angry. I've been angry once in my life, and it was literally on my birthday. It was somebody who is like one of my best friends, and it sounds so dumb, but it was a lot pent up to it. But like she came late to like my birthday party. Like she made me have two, not maybe, but she convinced me to have two parties. One I didn't want to do during the day, and she showed up when it was over. And at this point, I was wasted, and apparently, I just like, why'd you even come? And I'm very conscious about, again, how I'm presented in the masses.
Yeah.
And like the mere fact that we got in this argument, not even an argument because she didn't yell back.
Yeah.
I felt bad about that to this day. And I'm like, I am very worried now about blowing up on somebody. So I'm trying to acknowledge anger, whatever that means.
Yeah.
I
think it's, I was in therapy the other day and I was like, I don't know what it looks like to either like anger for me is either I want to just like remove myself completely from the situation or fucking explode
and rip something apart.
And it's scary because like I'm gonna lose control if I explode. But then like she explained to me briefly, it's just like, you just are like, I'm angry about this thing.
Yeah, no, and I think and so my therapist said the same thing. She's like, just if you're angry, just say you're angry and why you're angry.
Yeah.
Like I have a friend who I'm very close with who's younger than me. So he may be 10 years younger than me. Also an actor. And I remember when I first started acting, Michael B. Jordan wasn't out yet. Like Chadwick Boseman wasn't out. There was no young black guy to aspire to, and no one gave a shit. Whereas like as he came up, we have Michael B. We have this push for diversity, but there's no middle-aged black dude besides Michael B. Like, so it's like, he's young enough to get the high school roles or the college ones, and I'm like, well, shit. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like now I go off a road that's the gambit of everything.
Yeah.
But I often feel like, and I was talking to my agent about it, is like I often feel like people don't know what the everyman black guy looks like.
Yeah.
Because you're either like the funny best friend, the super tall, buff, like dark skinned dude who can like fucking body slam somebody.
Right.
Or you're Michael B. Jordan. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no regular Tom Hanksy, Shia LaBeouf looking black dude who's just like, yeah, that guy could go work on your car, or maybe he can save the day. You know?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Like, so, and I remember the whole crying thing. I remember now I cry very frequently, but even I feel like I haven't cried in a while. I feel like I've teared up, but I feel like I haven't broken in a while because I feel like now I'm a little worried I'm getting back to shielding myself or not experiencing enough to like have something to cry for. Is now it's just, I don't know. I feel like in my body right now, I feel very weird about my emotions. I'm very expressive, but also, I don't know. I feel like I haven't been working the muscle. I was very good about working that muscle of connecting to emotions and.
Yeah, you have to try. You have to try. When you don't have access to them, you have to kind of try.
You got to try a little bit.
Wait, so and I have a question. I want to jump back a little bit to when you were saying you were hooking up with a lot of girls.
Yeah.
And then you sort of hinted that started to feel empty a little bit.
It felt like at that point, I was doing it. And again, I'm not a person who, like most of my friends to this day don't know if I hooked up with certain people because I just don't like I feel weird when dudes brag about stuff like that because I'm like, because it sounds like the two of you didn't do it together. It sounds like, yeah, man, I hooked up with her. It almost sounds like you did a thing,
Honestly,
but not the two of you did the thing.
It sucks to say, but that's what it felt like for me in high school. Like losing my virginity was more about me telling my buddies
100,000,000%.
You fuck somebody. You hooked up with
it
somebody.
was more between me and my friends than it was between me and a
And that's what we do. And the thing is, like, that's why I'm so fascinated about, like, what do we tell kids? Like, that's what we do. Like, that's what we, like,
with my friends in middle school, it was like who has fucked a girl?
Yeah, who kissed somebody?
School?
And
I had people who were like 12.
Yeah, and it was like
crazy,
and it was something that you bragged about. You were in competition about.
Yeah,
there was no regard for like whether or not like the emotional state of a fucking 12, 13-year-old girl.
Yeah, you never cared. Like, and it gets so tricky because I'm like, you were never taught to.
Yep.
And that's the tricky part. Like, you were never taught to. And I think for me, sex became not even like for me. It was like, oh, I'm supposed to do this, so let me do this. You know what I mean? Like, yes, person would look a certain way, but it was almost like I was doing it to not tell anybody that I did it, but for myself to know that, yeah, I'm still having sex. Like,
was it for your ego? Or
But I don't know what it was, because to me it's like ego means like you wanted to brag and tell somebody you did it, and I never really did.
But
that.
I also think ego could mean like I'm still
worth doing something.
I'm still worth it. Because you were struggling with so much like other acting shit and like trying to figure out your career that maybe like you were finding self-worth through.
You're right, because now I'm thinking about it. It was like the whole point of it was to, I don't have control over a lot of things, but I know for me, for instance, I know especially in the acting world, people lump you into what you are so quickly. I know I wasn't the tall guy. I know I wasn't the tall guy. I know I wasn't the weird geeky guy. Again, I feel like I'm right in the middle.
So and
I knew that I was good with words. So it was like, validation of I'm good with words. I don't even care if this woman's a 10. I will be able to like pull this off.
My wife just showed me this study. It was like some university made a study, and they talked about how in terms of lead roles, I think it's like from 2011 until now, the amount of lead roles for black actors has quadrupled. Yeah. But in order for it to reflect the population, it would have to double from that.
Yeah. I mean, it's tricky because the thing is, like, now people keep talking about, yo, black actors are doing well. I'm like, no, the fuck we ain't. Yeah. Like, I would say last year I've auditioned for a lot of roles that were written for white dudes. They all end up going to a white dude or a black guy who's been around since he was 10. Like a lot of the black people you see now, like, they're kind of just appearing, but they've been doing bit things for... Chadwick Boseman is Black Panther, but he's been around for well over 13 years. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's 40-something.
Yeah.
He looks
great. The thing about Donald Glover was around at UCB in what? The early aughts?
Yeah.
You're like, NYU was it 2007, 2008?
2007, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
so that's a long time. And we've known about him because of the comic world, but like the world is, Michael B was on The Wire at 12.
Yeah.
Like, intensely for Michael B, we really only know Michael B because of Ryan Coogler. Because like Ryan Coogler did Fruitvale Station, did Creed, did Black Panther, things that all propelled him into different.
Yeah. Because there was a director who was like...
he was a director who was like, I like this guy. And he even said the reason he had Michael B in Fruitvale Station is because he used to watch Friday Night Lights, and Michael B was the black guy on Friday Night Lights.
He was great in Friday Night Lights.
Fucking great.
Oh, because
that show was great.
Oh, except season 2, there was a couple.
During
the, I think it was a writing strike.
It was during the writing strike.
You could tell some shit. There was some executives going, "Well, what if this happens?" Yeah. But that show was phenomenal.
I loved it, and to me, like that show showed. The reason I liked it because it showed these tough football player dudes dealing with emotions.
Yes, and it's so great because you don't have that. I mean. We grew up in different worlds, but like in the Staten Island Italian worlds, I was like an outlier of a person that would cry and shit like that. But I also think being overweight, people don't look at you as much of a man as other people.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. You're not as much of a man as the guys that are like going out and trying to hook up with girls every night.
Yeah.
There's like a separation. You're like the buddy.
Yes.
I'm the buddy.
Yes.
It took me forever in my life to realize that I'm the star of my life.
Yes.
That I'm not just the friend that's going along.
I 100%, like for instance, even, I keep bringing things like the acting, but I think it's the easiest way to transition. Like, all the roles I would go out for.
That so fast.
I know. That's how my mind just rambles. Yeah. But like when I audition for things, when I used to, it would always be as the funny friend. Yeah. And I would treat myself like that in real life. Yeah, because I was the smaller guy around the bigger dudes, so like you always were there as comic relief, and you may talk to the friend.
Sure.
So like, and then eventually I was like, you know what, man, fuck this. I'm the lead. I'm the lead in this movie of Jerah. Like, why would you have to be second fiddle to someone else if it's your life?
Everyone should be the lead in their own movie.
You are, and the thing is, it's so fast. I feel like, especially now, which I'm very nervous about when I think about social media. And social media I got off of Facebook. I'm trying to wean myself off of Instagram. And I just kind of got Instagram because I would wake up in the morning and look at, we're talking about like, how can someone be happy? I would look at like a friend of mine on set and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
I want to be on set.
Yeah.
and that is at 8 o'clock in the morning. And now my whole day is different because I let one thing affect you. And like, you should be happy. Yeah. Somebody that's, it's like really just trying to figure out balancing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
being happy for other people and like trying to work on that, but also allowing yourself to be disappointed that you're not doing what you love.
Yes,
that's a hard balance.
You're trying.
Yeah.
Was there a moment when you were like in your Don Juan DeMarco?
I wish it was that cool.
I didn't know how else to say it. How would you define it?
No, man, I think it was a thing where like I go through spells of like where women are so into me, and then there's months where like no one ever wants to talk.
Well, was there a moment when you realized like this isn't fun anymore?
Yes,
can you pinpoint that moment?
I remember I had a friend, and we were, I guess, friends with benefits at that point. And she told me that after sex, I would just like turn over or like just instantly just stop talking to her at one point. And we had been hooking up for a long time then. And she's like always, even through, I guess, all that shit, always just had my back, And I thought about it, and I was like, I never even thought of what I didn't realize I was doing it, and I never thought of what that must feel like to like, first off, we're friends, hook up with a friend, and then have your friend, I guess, treat you worse than like the random guy at a bar.
Yeah.
Because like I was like my mind didn't even equate it, and I remember because she was trying to start acting, and I wouldn't even listen. I'm like, well, I wouldn't even be mean. I just would be like, yeah, man, we're all fucking trying, Right. And I would just dead it. And I'm like, man, if I'm gonna be this mean to people who I think I'm being nice to, how am I treating everyone else?
Sure, someone that you
this is a person I knew I cared about, and I'm like, and you're telling me, and you're giving me examples. And to me, it's different when someone can give you fucking examples of shitty things you've done, because that means you've done it so much that they had to start remembering.
Yeah,
and like first couple times people do things, you remember, but like that, you're not clocking it.
No,
but the fifth, sixth time, you're like, oh, is this a pattern?
Yeah,
and she knew moments, and I'm like, well, damn.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard too. Like when we were talking before about it being a competition and stuff like that, it's really hard now. Like something that I've had to work on a lot is equating or having sex equate with intimacy. You know what I mean? It seems completely. It seemed completely separate to me for such a long
same
time.
Here, same here. Like you. There's those moments of just sitting.
Same here. Same here, you know. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mambo number 5 over here.
But no, what is that thing? Because I remember being like, now as an adult, I tell people all the time, which I do realize, and I will acknowledge this. As a guy, what it sounds like, I just like people being around now. Like genuinely, like because I'm single, I just like if I'm on the computer writing or like writing a sketch, I just like knowing someone's sitting on the couch, watching TV or doing just so I don't feel alone.
It's community.
Yeah, I just want to feel like there's a body around, and I have trouble sleeping, and so what usually helps, and it sounds dumb, what usually helps if someone is in the bed, you don't have to touch me. Like I just need to know that there's like someone near me, which is a very weird thing. I just like, so people are like, no, if I come to your house, you're just trying to have sex. Like I swear to God, I will not try to have sex with you. I just feel safer. Yeah. Knowing that there's another person that if I don't know, I can't sleep, or if you can't, we could have a conversation, or you could. Yeah. I don't know. It's that weird thing of like just with babies, like this thing with babies. So it's like, you know, when people have babies and like there's the big thing of like they want skin to skin contact. Yeah. Makes me feel comfortable and safe. Like I feel like I need that sometimes just to know that someone is around. But I know as a dude, especially what's happening nowadays, women are like, you ain't fucking lying to me. Like, I get it. I get how crazy this must sound to you.
I think that's cool, though, that you know that and you, like, you know, and you're aware of that and you feel like it's okay to ask for that.
Yeah, I try my best to be like, yo, I promise you, this is not a situation where I'm trying to. So I feel like I always try to overcompensate for that nowadays. To, like, prove you're not an asshole.
Yeah.
Wait, so this friend, this long-term friend, she told you this information, and then like, what did you do with that?
I mean, it was a lot of things that happened. So to me, it was like I had that friend, and then this is around the same time as I started doing private sessions with my acting teacher. So it was like a lot of trying to figure things out, and I'm a person like my parents are older. So my stepdad is like 76, 77. My mom had me when she was 40. So she's 72, 73. So they started getting older. My stepfather is a person who lives with a disability. So it was just a lot of that moment of who am I about to become? Because I feel like I have a lot of deja vu. And I remember at one point, I remember being younger, maybe in my early 20s, and thinking, I always pop into my head that I would have somebody, I would be in a relationship, I would have somebody who loved me, and I would pick something over her, and I would be successful in it, but I would never be able to find that kind of happiness. And I remember when I broke up with my ex, because it was 3 years, I've only had one relationship, and it was her, and it was 3 years of my life. Usually, when I've dated people, it's only ever lasted 3 months. Just happens. It's like, meet you in the top of the summer, somehow it ends. Or I meet you and it like fizzes out right when 3 months hit. And I remember breaking up with her, then, you know, being out in the parties and the clubs, kind of getting a lot of love at UCB at this point. So like things started to go well, and I started to freak the fuck out. I started to be like, oh shit, is it this thing of success and being by yourself? Because that's now,
when people freak out. It's not during the lows. It's the highs.
Because you realize when good things happen, who are you going to call and share it with? Yeah. Like I had nobody. Like even now, I mean, I may tell some of my friends, but I don't have the person that. I guess I do. I'm getting better at it now, but I didn't have the person or people I could call and be like, "Yo, this cool ass thing happened." Yeah. I would just, or if something bad happened, I had no one to talk to it about. And I just remember after she told me that, I was like, man, I lost my girlfriend technically. I'm seeming like I'm about to lose my friend, and I have I got nothing. Like nothing was like super popping. It was kind of getting there, but like that was stressful, and it was just a moment of, fuck, dude.
It's so crazy how we can, like, Sebastian and I pointed out, or like seen on this podcast, how like in this business among friends, like it's like there's so much shit we don't know about each other. It's like you're like, I didn't have anybody to call, but it's like we know so many people, but it feels like that, like I think you were touched on this earlier, is like you can't really do that. Like it feels like you can't really do that. Like you have to kind of have your guard up a little bit
because you don't know how it's going to come off to people. Like again, like Sebastian said, I think now I know who I can talk to about things, but I'm very conscious I'm very conscious of what I complain about to even my closest friends because I don't want to complain about auditions or how many auditions I get because I do understand at this point now people are trying to get those things. So I don't want to complain about them, but I do feel some kind of way about it sometimes when they happen.
Yeah.
But I remember I only felt comfortable in darkness. There was like a period where I was like, I only felt comfortable in complete darkness. Like no TV, no phone. It was
Dude's
like, I just
Batman.
needed this. Yeah. Honestly, and the thing is, I am a Batman fanatic. I'm a Batman fanatic. And I was like, and it's so funny.
I think I knew that.
Yes. And it's so funny you say Batman because I'd be like, you know what? I need to just start planning this shit out. I need to like figure out what the next step. Like, I need to know what Sebastian's going to do. I need to know how to like one up that. I need to know like
I've looked at people and like reverse their careers to figure out what.
Yes, I will fucking break it down
Sick.
and be like, okay, this person is like really good at this thing on stage.
Yeah.
Like, this person's really good at that thing on stage. Ooh, but there's not a person who does those three things at the same time on stage. Like, so you're just always fucking breaking things down, looking at actors like, okay, this person does this. All right. Yeah. I look at actors now when they do like, which is so funny because I think people don't do it in real life. Like I'm looking at you in your eyes. I'm not looking at both of your eyes. But when you see someone in movies, the eyes are like going back and forth when it's like really emotional. It's like you don't fucking do that in real life.
Wow.
But like that's what you do in the movies. Like I'm looking like I go from like, but it does nothing.
Yeah.
It does like you do not do that in real life.
Yeah.
And you didn't have people to talk to at that time.
I don't think
Did
so.
you have other like men in your life that you could talk to
fuck
about
no.
this?
No way to hell.
And so it was all fronts. Everyone was complete fronts.
Well, you know, this is the thing. I think, in all honesty, saying this now in hindsight, I think I did have male friends I could have spoke to. I just don't think
You couldn't speak.
I don't think I could do it because I think to me, if I would have said something, it was like, get over. Like and these dudes now I know are not like this.
Right.
But for some reason in my head, I just thought if I was to say, yeah, man, today was a rough day, it would make me seem weak.
Sure.
So because possibly because at least for me that comes from that it not being safe or trust. Like there's nobody fucking trustworthy with any of that information.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna turn around and weaponize that information.
Well, to me, it wasn't even that, Pat. To me, it was like because those people, I will admit, I've lucked out. I've had some of the same friends since high school, and a lot of our friends will just bring friends into the fold. So a lot of my friends here in New York are friends I met through like, Sebastian going to school with me and like you and, you became friends with Pat. So now Pat is like one of my best friends, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like I could trust
you,
him.
by the way.
I love you. I'm in your house right now, which is honestly lovely. But I feel like it was more so of me feeling insecure about talking to people. Like I didn't want anybody to think that I wasn't cool or I wasn't like, strong is the only way I swear, the only way I can describe it is strong and weak. To me, expressing like if you felt sad, expressing like if you went up to a girl at a bar and she rejected you, which happens, admitting, fuck, that sucks, and not be like, that's why men do that shit on the street where it's like, oh, for real? Oh, screw you anyway. Like they're instantly trying to cover up the fact that
Because they're hurt.
they're hurt.
Yeah.
They don't know how to deal with being hurt.
Yeah, I was watching an interview with Jay-Z and he was talking about how people say like, were you looking at me? Like, or something along those lines. And it was like, he made the point that it was just like, people don't want to be seen. Like, people don't want to be seen in a vulnerable state. And it can make men fucking aggressive if they feel like they're being perceived in anything other than like a masculine state.
Because you feel like someone is going to try to me, when I grew up in Southeast, I was really young, and I remember I didn't really know what was happening. Like I know my mother, if she saw me hanging out with the older kids, because I was the youngest one around, she'd be like, "Get off of that car," not knowing that, oh yeah, we probably shouldn't be sitting on someone's fucking car, And I remember being in college, and again, I wasn't muscular or anything, and I wasn't. To me, I wasn't like the guy girls liked. I was the guy that girls would open up to. Sure. And like so, and I hate saying friend zone, but I would instantly become the friend.
Yeah,
whether I was trying my best not to, like it would instantly happen. So I remember going out when I was in high school, whether I went to another school, like I was not scared to get into a fight. Like it just what like it. If it was three of us, I would be like, I wouldn't give a fuck because I just wanted to prove that, like, yeah, I may not be able to get the girl that's really pretty, but screw this dude.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I used to get into a good amount of fights, and if I didn't get into a fight, I was always about to start one. I was always trying to prove, like, I always knew
how tough you were.
Yeah, and it was like I would be like, man, she likes him. He's so corny. Like I would get so mad so fast.
Yeah.
It was a very trying time.
So it was like you fighting with your own like idea of what a man is.
And also the thing too is like what I've realized is so funny. Like, yeah, I didn't know what a man was, but also it was like, it was fighting with how to value what that meant. And to me, it's like, as a dude at that point, the value was success and the value was women.
Yeah.
Like straight up, it was like, do I have money?
Yep.
Sure.
And do women like me? And the thing is, what you realize is like, the moment you say, oh, she won't like me because of yada, yada, yada. Now not saying if you put it in there, like, yeah, that may be true, but also she may love those things. Yeah. She may love the dude who's funny and talks a lot, you know, like, but you already have like downed yourself for no reason because you're already questioning who you are.
You said before, like, you didn't even have examples on TV of that.
No, you had, to me, it was like, I saw Will Smith, and Will Smith was a tall, handsome brother. You know what I mean? And like,
Will Smith, oh my God.
Like, I went Will Smith, and Denzel was the guy who was just fucking I think he was like named People Sexiest Man Alive one year. Like, that's who that guy is.
Yeah.
Like, one of the only black men to ever get it. There's only been 2, which is crazy. Only him and The Rock, who just got it 2 or 3 years ago.
Wow.
And I'm like, you know,
I love The Rock. Follow him on Instagram. He's fucking funny on that shit. I've directed a couple sketches once in a while, and I've directed one with him and Kevin Hart. And to see the two of them interact is insane because Kevin Hart does something that I think a lot of smaller guys does. Like, The Rock is big, The Rock is very nice, Kevin's very funny, but a lot of their like interaction is Kevin making fun of The Rock. Yeah,
right.
Like making fun of like that little ass shirt. Where he got those white pants on. Like, he just go, and it's funny. And you know, The Rock banters back, but it's that thing of, I'm sizing you. Like, men size each other up.
It's power. It's like, okay, you're big, but I can.
But I will rip you apart. You know.
I also think that like when, especially for comedy stuff, the audience is instantly able to judge. Like, I know that they probably look at Kevin Hart and they go, "Oh, you're tiny. You're not better than me. I could see your problem." Yep. Right? They look at me. They go, "You're fat. I could see your problem." So then you're able to do more, and you're able to be a little more aggressive and say shit that like someone like handsome like The Rock can't say.
You can't do.
Yeah. Because they go, "Fuck you. You shouldn't be here." It goes back to the people walking around the hallways.
I've always been very nervous, and I guess I still am a little bit about the type of jokes that I do, because I do know I go to the gym, but I'm very conscious of how those jokes come off, because I don't want jokes to come off cocky as like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because at the end of the day, it's like I grew up as the scrawny kid. To me, it's like, this was my world. Like, this is the world that I grew up in. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I always have to validate why I deserve to be. And it's like, no, dude, I just literally eat healthy. That's it. That's the only difference between me is I just eat healthy. Like, the
difference is when I was struggling, I ate food, and when you were struggling, you hooked up with a bunch of people.
Yeah, sure.
I got fired as an intern.
Yeah, right. Pass out here just fucking tossing like mics off the stage.
I was getting fucked up.
Yeah, but people can't see that.
No.
They can't. They're able to see other people's, like, what makes them need to overcompensate and become funny in a way. Yeah. They can't see that in you right now.
Because people are I am a comic book addict. You know what I mean? Like, I love things that I guess people consider very geeky, but it's also very cool to talk about geeky shit. So when I get mad at someone else talking about Batman, they're like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "Dude, I've been listening to this since I was a kid. Like, I watched the black and white Adam West Batman. I used to skip karate class to watch it. You know, like Eartha Kitt, and Michelle Pfeiffer were my 2 loves of my life.
Yeah.
And they both end up being Catwoman. You know, it's just, that's the thing I like, but it's so hard because we all do it. We all snap judge somebody very quickly. We size you up. It's like, okay, cool. Like, Pat, before we got on the podcast, you were talking about how you live in this very fancy area, and people are like, "Oh, he must be rich because he doesn't dress up around here." We instantly snap.
Absolutely.
We instantly do it.
Make value judgments. And when people come over here, too, I have to point out that, like, I can't really afford to live in a place.
Which you shouldn't have to do.
I shouldn't do it at all. It's just a fucking...
It shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
No.
it's like we judge people on so many things, and it sucks because I think the generation under us are getting so much better at it. Like we have like those high school kids now who are like who don't label each other, probably don't say the F word as much. Like they're like they're more understanding, which I think we're slowly getting away from this kind of thing. I hope, but
yeah,
you know, I feel like I don't know if you guys have this experience, but the reason I feel like I do that is because I don't want people to think that I didn't struggle. You know what I mean? It's like the same thing about like we look at you right now and we're like, you were never not attractive.
Yeah, that's not the case, brother.
Yeah,
it's so funny because you always want to prove that you earned it.
Yep,
sure,
absolutely.
So I have friends now who do one or two things. Like myself, try to overcompensate and explain how they got what they got. Like, for instance, Pat, you being like, oh, well, you know, this is the sister's house. Like, you got to explain, like, how it happened.
Right.
And I have some friends who won't acknowledge privilege at all.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you've never had a job. But yet you can audition every day, get coached that costs $250 an hour without worrying about it.
It's so hard, too, because it's like, you know, like, you have to get to a place where you have quite a bit of free time and you can pay your rent in order to even do this in the first place. And that was not...
To even fail.
Yeah. To even... I mean, I think about improv all the time where it's like, improv in itself is a comedy of privilege. Usually people who have done improv have went to college. They have... If they didn't, they come from some form of money because it's not cheap. It's not like stand-up where you can just do open mics.
No.
Like you're paying for classes. You're putting in a lot of hours.
But those open mics cost money too. I feel like entertainment in general is I mean, it is a privilege. I'm sure, you know how many talented people there are out there that never, you know, can never even, and I'm not trying to say like we can't still be disappointed in things, but it's like, you know, just thinking about like hearing you guys talk and hearing Sebastian say like I'm rewinding people's careers and trying to figure out, it's like so fucked up that you just can't be creative.
The only reason I got to UCB is because I was living in LA for a short portion of time and I was looking up Tina Fey, Will Ferrell, like how did they do it? Yeah. And I was literally dissecting it like, oh, Groundlings. Groundlings is in New York. UCB's on both coasts. I should do this thing. And you're just literally, and then you're weighing it. It's like, all right, there's three of them. It's the Pitt, Magnet, UCB. Which one more celebrities come out of? Oh,
sure.
UCB. Yep. If you can they're competitive, but you can make it there, that's the place you can do it.
Yeah.
You know?
I want to ask you what you think your life would look like had you never started to question, some of these beliefs.
I think, because I've always been called this. I was always called like a kind asshole. I'm scared I would be losing the kind in front of it. I think I would be an asshole. Because I will say I am not, I've been working on it, but I am not very good at patience. Because I grew up as an only child, so I've never been good about just like letting people take their time to learn and grow. Because to me, I expect everything to, it's like, all right, cool. You keep like saying the B word, stop. And I expect you to stop. You know, not realizing, you got to stop. Like when people, like for me, I don't smoke and I've been trying to slowly cut off alcohol, but like, I don't think I'm ever going to stop. I just want to like not drink a lot of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And in my mind, it's like, you should be able to just do it. Not realizing it takes time.
Yeah.
And I think if I wouldn't have had, the situation with my ex or my teacher, I think I would have become not emotionless because of acting, but not vulnerable. And I think when you're not vulnerable, you don't have empathy for people. Sympathy to me is easy to have for somebody, but to have real empathy for somebody and understand where they're coming from, I don't think I would be able to do that.
You seen that cartoon online, the difference between sympathy and empathy?
Yes.
It's so beautiful.
And it's like, the thing is, it's like, and sympathy is great, but to understand someone else's shoes when it's not your own, it's so hard, but it's so necessary.
Or else you're going to be like mad or judging people constantly.
You judge. And my thing is, I hate to feel like I've judged someone because I hate feeling judged. Like the thing that will get me upset is if I feel like someone's judging how I feel about something. So that's usually the only way I'm going to snap on somebody. Like if you ask me a question about, hey man, do you like Nikes? I'm like, yeah man, I love Nikes, my first pair of Nikes. And you just started laughing. Nikes are stupid. Yeah. I will instantly react out of nowhere. It's like that'd be the thing that'd get me like, what the?
Sure.
Like the only two things that ever get me like jolted: if someone makes fun of someone near me, because again, I grew up with a stepdad who, used wheelchairs and he has like a speech problem. So I remember people making fun of him and instantly being aggressive about it.
Yeah.
So people making fun of someone else, but if you make fun of something that I'm being honest and open with you of opinion, if you get pissed at me for my opinion, I'm losing my shit.
Yeah.
And that's also why in today it's so hard when I gave you the compliment in the beginning about sharing what you love.
Yeah.
That's harder than saying what you hate.
Yeah.
It's because you make yourself vulnerable when you say what you love.
Yeah.
Think about how many times you're in a room nowadays and like people are talking about a TV show or a movie and you may hold back just to see like, all right, what does the room think about this?
Yeah.
Read the room.
Yeah, like
100%.
You ever been somewhere and they go, you see this? What'd you think?
yeah.
It's a test.
I don't know how to answer it.
I know.
Did you guys see that Gary Shandling doc on HBO?
Yeah, I love
I've been
it.
watching it.
I loved it.
I haven't finished it. I haven't finished it.
I love the fucking Larry Sanders Show. Have you seen that?
I saw when I was a kid, but that's why I
Dude, you
wanted
gotta
to rewatch.
rewatch it. It's phenomenal.
There's a really
phenomenal.
There's a really good when we talk about like
that's so good to
whether
hear.
or not you can be vulnerable or you're just fucking cynical, because that is like those are two roads comedians can go down.
Yeah.
Either purely cynical or like somewhat self-deprecating, somewhat self-aware, acknowledging their own shit. And there's a moment where Ricky Gervais is like in Gary Shandling's kitchen, they're recording something. And Gary Shandling just like tries to bring him down to earth and have a serious conversation and connect with him, like and have a serious conversation.
Ricky Gervais?
Yeah, Ricky Gervais like literally cannot turn it off. Like he can't fucking turn it off. And like you watch him and you're like, oh, you're very unhappy.
Wait, how long has Ricky Gervais been around?
For a long time.
Forever.
Because you have to think, he did The Office before The Office.
Oh,
And that came out in 2002, 2004. And he had 3 seasons, so that had to be like...
the late 90s.
But also,
and he had a radio show before that.
But also, guys, he started when he was 30, and I remember getting a lot of hope from that.
Really?
But you think about it, I mean, it's so interesting because like, I think about Tiffany Haddish and Leslie Jones. There's so many people who don't hit. I mean, Harrison
Leslie
Ford,
Jones is so
Samuel Jackson,
Bill Murray. Like, a lot of these people were like 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the thing of like, I feel like people quit when it doesn't hit in their 20s. Because then you have a lot of outside forces happening now. You got people questioning your life. It's like, hey, you haven't done it yet. You've been trying to do this thing for like 6 to 8 years. What's happening? Where the kids at? Don't you want to get that light? Like, that's the thing I'm dealing with now as a person where my parents are older and I'm not dating or like with a girlfriend. They're like, hey man, you're only child. We will love some grandkids.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yep.
okay, you should adopt one and keep it down there. Like, I don't know what to say. Cool.
I'll sign the papers.
Yeah, I was
you
like,
keep it.
like, you can do whatever you want for all I care. Sure.
Jerah, I want to just thank you so much for coming
Thanks
on.
for having me, guys.
Yeah, dude.
This is dope because you can have like a real, intimate conversation.
We've been enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm
This is
trying to
fun.
get away from comedy, dude. I'm trying to say, what can I do more serious shit?
Yo, but I think the one thing, and I'll leave y'all with this, like one of my favorite performers is Robin Williams.
Yeah.
And I think even like the depressive side of him I really relate to. But the thing is, I think what made him such a good dramatic actor is because people expect comedians just to make you laugh.
Yeah.
And as comedians, we all know that a lot of comedy comes from pain. A lot of the laughs make us feel better, but for a reason. And I think like when I see comedians trying to be dramatic, I'm like, nah, man, you already got that. You're just literally placing that dramatic. You're just putting that dramatic bone is just now being like tweaked because you're making people laugh with it. The moment you take the jokes out, because the jokes make things safe.
Yeah.
The jokes help you talk about, like your size. Helps me talk about like being like an aggressive black dude.
Yeah.
But if you just stop trying to make somebody laugh and just say it plainly, it's a whole different scene.
I know, because being a comedian is just telling the world what you're feeling.
Yeah, that's totally it.
That's all you got to do.
You're just making it acceptable for yourself and for them.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what you're feeling, it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. But I think
Yeah.
I think that's relatable too. It's like you don't know how you feel about a thing. You just figuring the fuck out.
Yeah.
Dude, I love this. This was great, man.
This was
Yeah,
awesome.
thank you. This is dope.
What do you want to plug?
I guess I gotta get better at this. Astronomy Club has a show every third Monday at UCB East here in New York City. And my podcast Black Men Can't Jump in Hollywood, we release a new episode every Monday. Check it out. We're on Spreaker, iTunes, Spotify. Check us out. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Jerah Milligan. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not good at either one, but I do talk to people on Twitter. Like I love just talking to people about stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'm not good at posting jokes.
Yeah.
But I'll talk. So like,
Yeah.
just guys, thank y'all for this.
Gerard, thank you
course.
so
Thank
much.
you so
and
much.
this has been Who You Were Podcast. And you can email us whoyouwere@gmail.com. Email us your before and after pics. We'll post them to our Instagram at Who You Were Podcast. I'm Patrick Noth, at Patrick Noth on Twitter, at Patrick Noth with the 0 on Instagram. Sebastian?
My name's Sebastian.
Yo, I was about to say, Sebastian, let you get all that business out without making fun of you, and then you just started. And you couldn't fucking do it.
I'm trying. Imagine me in a classroom as a little kid. That was a nightmare.
If we ever get a sponsor, we're fucked.
Yo, you couldn't do it. I'm looking at Sebastian, look at you like, yo, Sebastian's letting them finish this. Cool.
You can follow me on Instagram at Sebastian Canelli. I got 4 photos. Maybe by this time when it comes out, I got 5. All right. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for listening to Who You Were. Please subscribe, rate, and review. Guest before and after pics on Instagram at Who You Were Podcast. Send your before and after pics to whoyouwerepodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at Who You Were Podcast. This podcast is produced independently. If you'd like to support it, please visit patreon.com/Patrick Noth. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening.